So here's a little follow-up to last week's video about introductions, and this one's about outroductions or song endings. There are obviously hundreds of endings to songs, and if you're playing on your own or you're doing a solo gig or something like that, you can pick and choose how you want to end the song. But if you're in a band, then you really need to finish together, everybody at the same time. There's nothing worse than everybody finishing at different times. It sounds horrible, and if it's in a performance situation, it looks really unprofessional. So if you're in a group, the best thing to do is to pick somebody who's going to lead the song, and then you follow them. It's like having a conductor, really. And you'll see lots of bands, if you watch any live band or stuff on the telly, you'll see they'll signal to each other. Somebody will signal, right, we're coming up to the end of the song and this is how we end it, and things like that. With the online lessons that we've been doing, then I'm the one who sends all the signals, and probably in the live situations as well. And so you tend to follow me and look to me for the endings. And I know that's why some of you wanted to have be able to see me when we're playing the songs. It's not a vanity thing or anything like that. It's just to keep everybody together because it just sounds so much better. So I'm just going to run through a few basic endings. So here's the first rule then with endings, is to always finish on the root chord, the chord that you started with. There are some very rare occasions when songs don't finish on the same chord they start with. One of them in particular is Flowers in the Rain, which starts with 2 bars of C. Woke up one morning, half asleep, and it goes into F. And then it finishes an F, so that was just a sort of a bit of an introduction with the C. And of course, if you have a song that changes key halfway, then it's going to finish in the key that you've changed to, not the key that you probably started with. So that's worth bearing in mind. But always look for that last chord. If you're looking to see what the key of a song is, then look at the last chord you play rather than the first chord, and that tends to be nearly always the key that song is in. There are some simple finishes that we could do. I think a lot of you know all these, and a lot of you can do them already, but there are some simple finishes where you just play the last chord so it rings out. So you may probably play it a little bit slower than you would normally. So for example, if you've got 4 strong winds, this is a good example. It goes like this. And that's just a simple G strum that you strum down and let ring out, and that finishes the song nicely. Other ways you can do it is with just 2 downstrokes to signal the end of a song. So for example, in World Without Love, we have at the very end a G and a C. It's just a simple downstroke. So I won't stay in a world without love. Okay, so that's just the G and the C played as a downstroke. That's quite a simple ending. More often than not, those simple endings add a 7th. So you play a C, if it's in the key of C, for example, a C, a G7th, and then a C. So all of me finishes like that. So why not take all of me? And there you've got the D7th, because this is in the key of G, so it goes G, D7th, and it's a great little finish, and you can let it ring out at the end. And then of course you've got the dead stop, which is where you stop absolutely dead on the last chord. So at the hop is the best example of that, which is and you stop there. Now what we do here is mute the strings with the side of your hand. So rather than letting it ring out, you play the chord and you just put your hand down on the strings like that and stop them dead. and that finishes the song brilliantly, as it should be. Some songs have a fixed ending. In other words, there's something that's written within the song and that's how it finishes. So for example, 8 days of the week, or end of the line, for example, they finish with the introduction. So 8 days of the week is... So there's just one G chord at the end of that to finish the song, rather than carrying on with the G, which you would have done when you started this. In the same vein, the introductions, for example, that we did last week can also be used as an outroduction. So the introduction would have finished with a G7th leading up to the C, it's in the root of C, and that leads on to that, but then you drop the 7th at the end of the song. So the introduction would go... and into the song. The outroduction would go... might add in 2 downstrokes at the end, and you can clip that first one, so that sounds quite nice. Okay, like I said, there's lots of different ways you can do this. And the other one that we use quite a lot is, of course, the big finish, which is the fun one to do, which is you just basically get to the end of the song and then you give it a whole load of welly on the last chord, strumming up and down as fast as you possibly can. And it usually ends in a dead stop. So in this particular case, you need to watch the leader. You need to watch the leader of the band or the group or whoever to see when they're going to finish. In my case, I always drag it out and things like that for a bit of fun. But a song like No Hopers, Jokers and Rogues would have a fixed number of bars to finish on, because that's what sounds right. So it goes like this. Come on, you jokers and rogues. Okay, so that fits nicely into the song. Other songs can go on forever and ever, really. Buffalo Girls, for example, can go on for ages. So it would finish something like this. So there you are, a few of the basic endings that you can use, and see how you get on. Okay, see you next time. Bye.